What's up guys, thanks for tuning in. Today's video we're going to be showing you how to install the carbon fiber full replacement boomerangs on your C8 Corvette. So with that being said, let's get into this video. So to start this install, there's a few hand tools that you're going to need, and I have them listed here. One big thing I will say that you should take the time to invest in ceramic coating these pieces before install. It's optional, but I definitely would recommend it. The job will take anywhere from 2 to 3 hours depending on your skill level, and these carbon fiber pieces are from Extreme Online Store, who is sponsoring this video. If you'd like to know more info about these parts in particular, I have a full unboxing and review of these boomerang replacement pieces, which are really great quality. And I'll have links in the description below not only for these parts, but the tools I used in the install as well. So to start off before install, we're going to quickly go into ceramic coating these pieces. Again, it's optional, but I highly recommend this process as it'll help keep the longevity of these pieces, especially from yellowing. For me, I use Adam's graphene ceramic coating in particular. It works great and is my usual go-to. So first thing you'll want to do is prep the area. Since these pieces are in pristine condition, you'll really only need to use either a prep spray or non-rubbing alcohol to remove any oils or dust from the surface. After which you're ready to apply the coatings. Apply a generous line of coating to the applicator sponge and work up and down and left to right. After which you'll want to wait around 20 seconds and buff off using a polishing or microfiber towel. You'll want to make sure to work the coating in sections so that you don't accidentally leave some on without buffing it off. Repeat the steps until the part is fully coated. Generally, one coat can be sufficient, but I like to place 2 to 3 coats to ensure maximum protection, especially for these carbon fiber pieces. So for this install, it's going to be pretty straightforward, and I do need to make a special note though, as I have vertical door hinges installed on my C8 instead of traditional ones. What this means is that my doors don't open all the way like traditional doors and open up. This doesn't change the install at all from what you're going to experience, and honestly it'll show exactly the same way whether you have this kind of setup or not. In fact, in some cases it'll actually help me in better showing how to install this and what it will look like. Now first we're going to look at installing the boomerang pieces, which is really straightforward to do. There are 4 8mm nuts that need to be removed and are pretty easily accessible. After which you'll simply need to use a trim tool to help break off the double-sided tape holding the OEM boomerang piece in place. Before you do that though, you'll want to make sure you place some masking tape to help protect the edges of your paint. Once you're ready to remove, slowly work the part off by pulling and using the trim tool. After you have removed the OEM piece, you'll want to go in and remove the residual double-sided tape that was left. Once that's done, you're ready to install the boomerang piece. Remove the double-sided tape that's on the piece. Depending, I found using tweezers helps to pull back the backing sometimes when it's being stubborn and not wanting to come off. The big thing is to try to install the piece evenly with all the studs going through at the same time. It makes it much easier to get the part installed and not get caught up on any of the studs. Once placed, press the piece into place where the double-sided tape is and reinstall the 8mm nuts. One big thing is to make sure not to over tighten these nuts. These studs are adhered to the carbon fiber, so you don't want to break off those studs from the piece. Remove the masking tape and you're done with the boomerang part, and we can look at replacing the door handle portion. So to start on the door part, you're going to want to remove 2 T30 torque screws on the lower part of the door. Again, this part of the install will be exactly the same with or without vertical door mods, and it's just easier to show you in the process sometimes in the vertical position while I'm filming this. Next, you're going to want to use the trim tool to remove the door panel pocket. Push down on the back edge of the pocket until it pops out of place. From there, you'll want to remove two 7mm bolts. After which the door panel will be ready to remove. Now, to remove the door panel, you'll want to use the trim tool to release the bottom portion of the panel. There are 5 pieces to release the door panel from and are marked here. Work to release from the bottom first and then work your way to releasing the top. Once you release the door panel, there are 2 connectors that need to be unplugged to then fully release the panel. You'll need to pull the red tab back and then push down on the clip to pull the plug out. Once the door panel is removed, peel back the sound barrier and place to the side. So one special note, the connector for the door handle should be located in the bottom outer corner and not shown duct taped to the center of the door. I have a feeling when I had these vertical door hinges installed, this was some kind of fix in order to have the wiring routing still work. Unless you have vertical doors, you should expect this to be held in place by the plastic tab in the bottom outer corner of the pocket. Anyways, unplug the connector by pulling the red tab and pushing down on the clip to remove. Next, you'll need to remove 4 10mm nuts as shown here. It's hard to show on camera, but these nuts will be directly behind where the handle is located. Next, you'll need to remove 2 T15 Torx screws from the front part of the door handle. Depending, you may need a bit extender to reach the further aft screw. Now that all the bolts and nuts are removed, you'll need to use a trim tool to depress the 2 large plastic clips holding the handle in place. You'll want to pull on the handle to keep tension as you're pressing on the clips to remove. The clips are pretty beefy, so it may require some force on the trim tool to press them down to release the door panel. Now you can finally have the handle part released and start working on replacing the OEM part with your carbon fiber version. The first thing you'll need to do is remove the rubber lining on the part. Be gentle on removing as the rubber is thin and can tear if you're being too aggressive. Make sure to remove the circular clip. Once that's done, you'll need to remove 4 T20 screws holding the plastic piece in place. Depending, you may need a bit extender to get to some of the spots. Next, you can start removing the plastic piece. You'll need to use a trim tool and start from the edge and work the bottom section loose first. The bottom section has tabs that hold the piece in place. Make sure that all the tabs are clear before moving to the top portion. When working the top section, there are clips that can be lifted using a flat head screwdriver or trim tool to then release the part. Finally, you can install the carbon fiber piece on and can do that by reinstalling with the screws you removed previously and reinstalling the rubber seal. Make sure when installing the rubber seal that it sits flush all around. There are a number of rubber tabs that the seal will place in that need to be set properly. Now with the handle assembly set, we can reinstall it back on the seat and it'll go back on essentially in reverse order from how we removed it. When pressing the handlebar into the door, it should clip back into place. Reinstall the 10mm nuts as well as the T15 bolts back onto the handle. Replug the connector and reinstall it to the door clip on the bottom outer corner in the door pocket as shown earlier in the video. Reinstall the sound barrier into the door pocket and then we can reinstall the door trim and replug the connectors to the door. For reinstalling the door trim, you're going to want to align the top front of the door first and then align all the other plugs and push to secure. If it's lined up properly, it shouldn't take a lot of force to push the tabs into place and secure the panel. Reinstall the T15 and 7mm bolts back onto the door panel. Place back the door pocket trim and you're done. Well, at least with this side. You'll need to then repeat the process on the other side to complete the job. So yeah, not a difficult install to do. Maybe a little bit intimidating, especially when you get to that door part, but it's definitely doable with just a few hand tools and just a little bit of time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please check out any of my other videos like this one here for your C8 or car needs.